In this tutorial, we're going to look at creating a third-person character, which we will actually need to connect with a camera. So this would be a third-person game character, which would be our main character in the game. So once again, we are using our standard asset folder, and we're going into our character folder. And in here, you'll see that we have a third-person folder. Once again, we are using our prefabs, which is one file that has our model, our coding for movement, and how the character is going to perform basically and act based on animations. So the one that we're using today is the third person. We don't want the AI third person because that would be if you're trying to set it up as an enemy or not your main character. So after the third person, we're going to, in our scene, click and drag our third person, who is actually referred to in Unity as Ethan. If I drop down this menu, you see that everything is under Ethan, so I will refer to this character as Ethan. So with Ethan, we want to double click and make sure that he is not halfway in our ground. We want to make sure that green capsule collider around him is sitting nicely above the ground. We do not want him sitting in the air though. He needs to have his feet as close to the ground as possible. Now, the third person in Unity in the standard assets does not actually have a camera set up with it. So we need to allocate a camera and connect the third person to the camera so it will follow Ethan around. So to do this, I'm just going to go back to my standard asset folder. And in here we have some cameras. You can attach it to the main camera if you're wanting to do it that way. However, there is a smooth follow code which works for some Unity installations and some of it doesn't. So that's why I'm doing it this way. So in our prefab folder, we have a free look camera and a multi-purpose camera. I'm just going to click and drag the multi-purpose camera in. I'm just dropping it anywhere because at this point, we're just going to attach it to Ethan. So if Ethan moves forward, the camera will follow. If he moves to the side, it will follow, etc. It's going to target him and follow him. And we can set this up really easily. So with my camera selected in my hierarchy, over in the inspector window, if I scroll down to my auto camera script, you'll see that it has a game object variable called target. It is currently not connected to anything. So what I'm going to do is come over to my hierarchy. I'm going to click and hold on my third person controller. So while still holding, I'm going to drag over this to where it says none, and I'm going to drop. And so this is now saying that this camera is going to target the third person controller. It's going to follow the third person controller. So if I press play now, my camera should be on the back of Ethan. And when I move Ethan, the camera follows. So no matter what side I move to, the camera will target him and follow him. And that is the basic setup for our third person.